Today, I'm going to film myself installing grommets on my wheel covers. They are the cheap Camco wheel covers for the RV that I bought about 2 years ago. I haven't used them in a year because they consistently were blowing off of the RV and I was having to chase them all over everywhere I camped. But it's about time I get this done. It's one of those projects that I just accidentally put off and did not make a good reminder for myself. And I should have done it a long time ago, but I'm getting to it now. So anyway, this is the grommet set that I bought. It's got 2 different punch sizes, 2 different press sizes, and an extra pack. I'm going to use the large size grommets. And these are the wheel covers. This is what they look like. So I'm going to install them here and here so that I can put a bungee cord on to hold them on. The more expensive wheel covers come with the bungees, with the grommets already on them for bungees. But they were literally 8 to 10 times the price of these ones I bought from Walmart. So anyway, it's about time I'm going to get to it. Okay, I already did one. And I'm glad I didn't film it because I put the first one on backwards and I used the tool improperly and I kind of made a real mess of it. But I got it down now and I'll show you how it is. This actually goes pretty quick. So the first thing is to cut the hole in each one. And what I'm doing is I'm just putting my square close to the corner. Cuts a nice hole like that. Do the other side. All right, there we go. Got my hole cut. Both holes cut. I'm going to go with the large side instead of the small side. I have the large press instead of the small one. Grab a grommet, flip it around to the underside, put the grommet on, put the top of the grommet on, make sure that my block is underneath there, and give it a pound. That's it. Grommet done. Just like that. Two grommets done. And just like that, I've got grommets that I can put my bungee cords attached to. All right, 4 more to go. I actually had no idea it was going to be this simple, or I would have done this a long time ago. Sometimes you get something and you think the project's going to be a lot harder than it is, and then you get started and figure out that it was way easier. There is a couple of times in the last year that I thought about doing this and I procrastinated it thinking it was going to be a major pain in the butt, but it's actually really easy. I'm very impressed with how it's coming out. All right, that's it. All 6 wheel covers installed. Put this kit back together the way it's supposed to be. And that's it. Kit's all back together, ready to make more at another time. Okay, now that that's done, I'll show you what it looks like when I put them on with the bungees. Okay, now I'm going to show you the finished product. So I'm going to take the wheel cover with the grommets, and I already have a set of these little small bungees, and I put one on already as a test, and this is the perfect length. So first thing you do is fit the tire cover over the tire. There we go. Fit the bungee on, and then I'm going to feed it through in between the tires. And this is going to be the tricky part. I'm going to have to reach through there and grab it. All right, I got it. And there we go. Can't come off. Good to go. Okay, now I've got all 6 on. Now, the other day, I did a big project on the outside of the RV, and I didn't film it. Part of the reason is I kind of forgot to film it, and 2, it was such a big project, and my hands were going to be so messy that there really was no way for me to film it and move the camera around. And I had a garden hose going out here on the ground, and I didn't want to knock it over, so I decided not to film it. But what I did is I went over the entire outside of the RV, and I redid my ZEP treatment. And the ZEP treatment, as you can see by the shine, is awesome. You can see everything on the RV has a nice, really high gloss shine to it. It's not wax. It's a product called ZEP High Gloss or Wet Look Floor Polish. Believe it or not, it's a floor polish. And my first treatment that I did 2 years ago was finally starting to wear off, and I needed to do another one. And the way you redo the treatment is you go over the entire outside of the RV with a sponge and soft scrub with bleach. And then after you go over it with that, you have to actually wash it with regular car wash, dry it all off, and then it takes 6 very thin coats of the ZEP polish. And this polish lasts for a long time. It lasts through many, many car washes, and it has this really high gloss shine to it. It resists an awful lot of things, and it even works on all of the window frames. It's just fantastic stuff. Even the handles come back very shiny. It took me almost 2 days to do the entire treatment because I had to wash it one day, get the entire thing clean, completely dry, and then I applied 3 coats, and then got up the next morning and did 3 more coats. And it turned out fantastic. Even the plastic of the mirrors come out nice and shiny. When I bought this RV, the entire outside of it was dull and chalky. If you were to rub your finger across it, your finger would turn white with chalk. Now that it's got the ZEP on there, nice and shiny. And it's not like car wax. You walk up to it and it's not slippery, but it's got a finish on there that just shines and shines. This RV is almost 22 years old. In fact, it is 22 years old. And it's got more of a shine to it than most RVs that are 2 years old off the factory showroom floor. I can't say enough about the ZEP treatment. A gallon of the ZEP floor polish runs about $23 at Home Depot or Lowe's. I was able to do 2 full treatments to the RV with 1 gallon. So it well worth the money. It's a lot of work. There's other YouTubers that have made videos on doing it. Each person kind of has their own opinion of how to do it, but basically we all come to the same consensus. It takes 6 thin coats. You don't want to put it on thick. You want to put it on thin. And when you start out with the finish dull, like most fiberglass exteriors of an RV, it takes almost 4 coats before it even starts to look shiny. It almost looks like you're not doing anything the first couple of coats. But by the time you get to coat 5 and coat 6, it looks spectacular. And I mean, I can't say enough for it. This will do me for at least another year. Really, you should redo your finish on it every year. Last year, I put 1 thick touch-up coat on it, and it kind of didn't turn out as well as I wanted it to. I should have gone over it with the soft scrub and the bleach and started all over. But as you can see, this is how it turned out. And it goes right over the vinyl decals. Now, my vinyl decals are faded, but if you look at them from an angle, they have got a nice shine to them, and that shine is from the ZEP. It even works on the painted surfaces. All of this lower area, this is all paint. I mean, that right there, that's reflection. You can see here the reflection. Stuff is awesome. I even put it on the arms of the awning. I put it on the outside of the plastic. It's on the outside of the fridge cover. I put it on the outside of the water heater cover. I put it on all of it, every bit. Everything got 6 coats. So if you have an RV and you've got that dull look to it, and you've been putting car wax on it and you're sick of doing it, try the ZEP. It's the coatings go on really quick. You can't do it when it's really windy. You can't do it when it's dusty. You have to do it, and you can't do it in the rain. And you really can't apply it on areas that are actually in direct sunlight. So you have to take a little bit of planning to get it done. But I got tired of doing, our first RV we had was a 96 Fleetwood Bounder. And I started out by doing the car wax on it. And it would look nice and shiny, but 2 or 3 weeks later, it would turn dull again. And after doing 5 or 6 treatments with the car wax, I got sick of it. So I looked up alternatives on the internet, and I saw this thing with the ZEP. And honestly, I thought it was crazy. I thought it was one of the stupidest things I had ever heard, putting floor polish on the outside of an RV, including the painted surfaces. And I almost didn't do it. And then I decided, why not give it a shot and see how it looks? And I did my Bounder, and it turned out fantastic. It looked great. In fact, the ZEP works so good, I did not retreat the rubber this time, but you can see on the lower part where I did get the rubber, it even puts a shine on the rubber. Now, I could have done the rest of the rubber around the windshield this time, because it really does need a second coat, but I was starting to run out in the gallon that I had, and I just wanted to use what I had. You know, it's a long way back into town. I didn't want to get a whole nother brand new gallon just for that little bit that I needed. So anyway, that's what I've been up to here on the RV. I've got more repairs and maintenance coming up that I'm going to make videos on. I'm going to change the transmission filter, and I'm going to do a full tune-up on the engine. And I also have some tightening up. There's a leak on my filler neck for the main gas tank, and I'm going to try and get that cinched up. So anyway, more videos to come.